how to play Catalan.
Hello, Eugene Perelstein here. So, as Roman mentioned, Catalan has gained a lot of popularity at the top grandmaster level, and mainly thanks to the efforts of Vladimir Kramnik and, of course, Aronian and other top grandmasters. But let me talk a little bit about the underlying structures, pawn structures, and pieces, and what makes us really like the opening. So, fundamental idea for white is to attack the center. So this move c4 is the whole purpose behind the Catalan, and develop his bishop on the long diagonal to g2. So this gives white very fluid development. All his pieces can be developed. For example, knight can go to c3. The c1 bishop has an open diagonal, and after bishop g2 and castle, white can quickly finish the development. So as you see, the fluidity and ease of development is key in this opening. Now for black, black immediately faces some difficulties. For example, the bishop on c8 is locked in because of the pawn on e6. So you will see shortly that in a lot of Catalan positions, black has to solve the problem of the c8 bishop. And also, if black takes the pawn on c4, this is a temporary pawn sacrifice, white will always gain tempo in development, because white is going to simply develop his pieces, such as bishop g2, and if black tries to defend the pawn on b5, he is going to run into some trouble, and we're going to see shortly why. So fundamentally, black has some strategic problems in the opening, but once he solves all his problems, only then he can hope to get a good game. But first, let us take a look at a very simple approach to the opening, the move b6. So black is playing the same way as the queen's gambit decline. So he wants to develop bishop to b7. He's going to play bishop e7, followed by castle. And a lot of players, if they're not familiar with the Catalan, simply prefer the setup for black. There is not much theory, and it's quite easy development. So this is what I want to cover first. So let's see, after b6, white simply plays bishop g2, bishop b7, and now simple move castle. Bishop e7, and here white has very strong move, knight to e5. As you will see shortly, the knight on e5 actually plays a key role in this variation. For example, black castles, and now knight c3. So the natural move is knight b to d7, and the reason why knight on e5 is very strong is because it controls the c6 square. And now with the next move, queen a4, white really creates a problem for black. First of all, knight c6 is coming up. It's a weak square and there is no easy solution. And it turns out that black is already facing serious difficulties in the opening. Because, for example, if bishop takes, queen takes, the pawn on d5 is always going to be weak. The whole long diagonal, the bishop on g2 is just too strong. And the weak backward pawn on c7 is always going to be a weakness for black. So let's go back. That's why black usually takes on e5 and tries to get rid of the powerful knight. And this could lead to the following position. Pawn takes, and now knight e4, trying to simplify. Notice that knight d7 is not that great because after pawn takes d5, pawn takes d5, knight takes d5, black is facing some serious problems. They don't have time to take on e5 because of knight takes pawn and the b7 bishop is lost. And if black takes on d5 himself, then after bishop takes d5, the rook on a8 is hanging. So this is serious problems. So that's why knight d7 is not possible. And black plays knight e4 with the idea to exchange at least more pieces and try to get an equality. But even this position, black suffers. And to show you the simple way, knight takes, pawn takes, it looks as though black has almost equalized. But again, white has the extra tempo and he takes advantage with rook d1, queen e8, trying to trade queens, and now simple move queen c2. Dropping back, e4 pawn is under attack. Black has only one way really to defend, queen c6. And now if you look at the next move for white, rook d4, you will see that black is going to lose the e4 pawn. So this position is already a problem for black. So this shows you that the simple approach to the Catalan with b6, bishop b7, black is playing almost like against the queen's gambit, runs into some serious strategic problems. In particular, the plan knight e5 and queen a4, taking advantage of the weak c6 square, should give white the advantage.